Sure, during production there are costs for buildings, raw materials, and workers. But if everything runs normally, you produce the commodities at a reasonable price, and you can sell them for a profit wherever they are needed. With optimizations, you can reduce your unit costs even more, and thus increase your profits. For this course, Cartagena is your hometown. Open the town dialogue. Here you can see which commodities can be produced with which efficiency by cultivation or mining. Of course, you can produce handicrafts everywhere because they depend on raw materials and not on geographical specifics. Here you can see which commodities are actually produced in the town. Each town can produce up to 7 different products. Your businesses will also be displayed here later. These numbers tell you how many commodities in the town are produced per day and how much could be produced. If, for example, workers or raw materials are missing, this slows down the production. You should only produce the commodities that are scarce in the area, because the production of commodities is really expensive, and if you create an oversupply, the prices go down and you make losses. That also applies to other producers in the town. If they make losses with their commodities, they shut down production or even tear down their businesses. I'm only telling you this in case you ever have plans like that.
Blue screen of death just for a second. Yeah, I need the full screen here.
Check which commodities are in demand here. Vegetables are such a commodity, and Cartagena does not produce vegetables at the moment, but could. Vegetables are also scarce in the neighboring towns. You will quickly realize that when you trade. And since vegetables are high on the list, they have a big meaning for smaller towns. So, vegetable cultivation seems to be a good idea. Close this dialogue now and open the construction menu for this. In the first section of buildings you can construct are town buildings like residentials or chapels, but we'll get to that in the next lesson. You can find production businesses in the second section. The darkened businesses can't be built here. The conditions for that are missing. If you move the camera to the town of Necoclí, south of Cartagena, you can see how the possible businesses change. Of course, you can't just build anything anywhere. First of all, you need a trade permit so that you can trade and your fame increases. Only then you can get a building permission for businesses. If you even want to construct town buildings, you have to get the town administration rights from the viceroy. Now take a look at Cartagena to see the possible building sites for vegetable cultivation. Select a business and zoom in close to the town until building sites in different colors become visible. The plots are divided into 2 colors, rather negative and neutral. Gray fields mean disadvantages. Move the focus to such a field. You can see that the operation would have a negative effect on the satisfaction of the residents in several residential areas. There are no negative factors on the neutral fields. There you should now build a vegetable farm. Good. The construction contract is given. Here you can see which construction materials are needed and how much these materials and the construction costs. You don't have to worry about the construction workers, but they can only start working when the construction commodities are in stock in the town. You can help with this if necessary. Close the construction menu again and move the focus to the business you just commissioned. In the info area, you can see who owns the building and if there are any commodities missing for construction. If so, you can either get them and sell them to the town, or you can wait until another merchant did. Without workers, nothing works, of course. Otherwise, you would have to harvest the carrots yourself. Open the town dialogue by selecting an empty field or a town building. Here you can see how many job seekers there are in the town currently. They come with the treasure fleets from Europe to the town of the Viceroy, and from there they are distributed via trade convoys to the other towns. You can help with a trick here. When you dismiss the sailors, they automatically become job seekers. In order for job seekers to come to the town and stay until they find a job, the satisfaction in the town must be at least 40%. This is usually not a problem, but as towns get bigger, the demands of their inhabitants grow.
Super Jake coming in with a comment.
But workers also need housing for themselves and their families. If there is not enough of it in the town, your business cannot hire new employees. If you really are the administrator of a town, as it is the case with your hometown, nobody else builds buildings but you. So you have to provide enough housing. On the contrary, if you are not the administrator, you have to wait until the town does it. If the town is doing well and there are enough building materials, it won't take long. Let's speed things up a bit. Your farm is now operational and has all the workers. Now, switch to the Production tab and select Vegetables. Here, you can see the vegetable production of the town. Your businesses are also a part of it, and from tomorrow on, you can see which commodities your new business produces daily. As long as you don't have your own warehouse in the town, the produced vegetables will be sold to the town daily at the current price. As long as your business is running efficiently and the town is not drowning in an oversupply of vegetables, there is nothing wrong with that. Of course, you can prevent oversupply by selling the commodities to other towns yourself. For example, by using trade routes. If the neighbors drown in vegetables, you can also stop your production completely for a while to prevent the price drop of the commodities. Vegetables are cultivated. Other commodities, such as iron or coal, are mined. And there are handicraft businesses where raw materials are converted, such as weaving mills. Here, cotton is spun and woven into cloth. Such a weaving mill is needed right now in Cartagena. Get to work! Very good. Let's speed this up. Now leave the construction menu and select the weaving mill to see its production. Here you can see what raw materials you need for your cloth production. As long as you don't have a warehouse in the town where the commodities are in stock, the business automatically buys the required cotton from the town as needed and sells the produced cloth back to the town. And the lesson on the basics of production is already over. Now you know why you should only produce commodities that are in demand. Also, you should always make sure that your businesses have enough raw materials, because otherwise you will pay your workers to just sit around.
Gist of this thing. This is my first time playing this, so that's why I'm doing the tutorial.
You have already learned how to boost production in the towns, but in towns like your hometown, which you manage yourself, you also have control over the living conditions and can also optimize the production of your businesses. Open the construction menu. Directly in the first category, you will find all buildings that do not produce commodities. They create living space, increase the satisfaction of the inhabitants, or attract more workers to the town. Move the cursor over the buildings and see the information about them. As you can see, many buildings have positive effects on other buildings or even the whole town. The most important building, besides the businesses, is of course the residential area. Select it because you should build one. A residential area can accommodate a lot of people. This is good because most workers have families, children, partners, old people, etc. Only about every fourth inhabitant works at all. So we need 4 times as much living space as workers. Otherwise, no new people will come to the town. If you look at the possible building sites for residential areas in Port Royale, you will see different colors. These indicate whether there are advantages or disadvantages for the building site. This coloring means that the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. Move the cursor over one of these fields to see what the advantages are and where they come from. But nobody likes to live near cultivation or mining companies. There's too much hustle and bustle. Sometimes there is also noise and stench. So the satisfaction of the residents decreases. And such negative influences even add up. Find a good place for a residential area and commission it. The situation is different with handicraft businesses. Here, residential areas have a positive effect because the workers have a short way to work. But also companies that supply the right raw material for the craft have a positive effect. Choose the brewery for once. The most productive building sites for a brewery are located near residential areas and grain farms, because the workers then have a short distance to work and grain is needed for brewing. Now build a brewery. Very good. By the way, if a crafting business needs more than one resource, it will receive an additional bonus for each resource business nearby. And another building has a positive effect on production. The tool maker. Select it. With the tool maker, you can make nearby mining operations like the coal mine more efficient. I think you have understood the principle. Just always take a close look at the advantages and disadvantages of such a building site. That's what the information is there for. And as always, one last thing. For many handicraft businesses like the brewery and special town buildings like the tool maker, you need a concession. You can get this from your viceroy when you have enough fame. We will talk about this in the next lesson.
On that one, okay. Next.
Welcome to the Department of Diplomacy at Sammy's School for Emerging Caribbean Merchants. Today's topic is Viceroys, the fast track to fame. Simply put, the Viceroy is your nation's top boss in the colonies. He watches you,
Buffy,
gives you information, and shows his appreciation when you serve your nation.
I've got a Discord. There you go. Put them on Discord so that way I can, copy them and put them up in the. Alright, so, yeah, Buffy, if we can put the put those on Discord so that way I can, pardon me, so I can save them.
You can always contact the Viceroy. Get in touch with him now.
Come here. England needs your help.
Here in the first tab, the Viceroy informs you about the current situation. Especially important for you are the relations to the other nations, because you usually can't sail to the towns of hostile nations.
Beautiful. Alright, so I think I know the thumbnail I'm going to use. This one looks a bit better. I said I love both of them, by the way, Buffy, so don't think I'm not, yeah, that one. Alright, save image. Beautiful. Alright, now to put in now to add the thumbnail. Buffy, you were very quick in that one too. Within 16 minutes of playing, bang! I love it. Thank you so much. Buff, you are fantastic. I love you so much. Alright, let's see how the first tab informs you of the current situation. Especially important for you are the relations to the other nations, because you usually can't sail to the towns of hostile nations.
But the Viceroy also has tasks for you. You don't have to fulfill them, but if you do, you will be rewarded with fame. Not unimportant, because without fame, you won't get concessions for handicraft businesses, no great vessels, and no town administrations. Now, switch to the Fame tab. As you can see, your current fame in England is quite capable of improvement. But this is normal, because you are still at the beginning of your career. If you have collected enough fame, you will receive a fame point, which you can exchange with the Viceroy for certain privileges. England regularly sends treasure fleets from Europe to the town of the Viceroy to collect colonial commodities. Here you can see how many commodities the fleet would like to take with them next time, and how many of them you have sold in Port Royale. This is a double deal for you. Good for your wallet and good for your reputation. If you have a fame point in stock and enough workers in a town, you can ask the Viceroy to manage a town. Then everything will be done your way. No house or business will be built without your permission. In the end, a town will be built according to your ideas. Now, open the next section. Life would, of course, be much easier without our European neighbors. Here you can find out which lousy creatures are their viceroys and where they live. Thank God you only deal with your own viceroy. It is not your job to confront these sad figures with the finesse of English diplomacy.
Not too bad considering I get the loyal Englishman's an American. All right. Well, I suppose, it's in the 1500s. How could there even be an American? Sorry.
Now, on to the next section. Pirates.
Pirates. Yarr.
All Caribbean pirates the Viceroy learns about are listed here. It is for your own fame and freedom to hunt down these ungodly spawn. Should you ever manage to track a pirate convoy to its hideout, you can actually smoke it out and gain even more prestige. Now, proceed to the last section, the concessions. Of course, not just any merchant can open a brewery on a whim. For handicraft businesses, combat vessels, and special town buildings, you need the approval of your viceroy. This also applies to any captain you want to hire. For each fame point, you can get a concession here. You got it? Then congratulations on the successful completion of this course. Look around a little more, and this lesson will end.
Naval battles, sorry, this will be the one where I have the least amount of success. I guarantee it. I'm not this good at it. Could be interesting.
The acrid smell of gunpowder steam and the crashing of bursting tailgates. Where there are pirates and enemy military convoys, there are naval battles. To make your first battle not your last, there's this lesson. To get started, select your convoy. It's anchored south of Port Royale. There are 3 types of convoys you can attack. First of all, there's pirates. You can always attack them. Your viceroy will be happy, and accordingly, your fame will rise. If you want to act like a pirate, you have to raise the black flag on your convoy and disguise yourself as a pirate.
That's pretty cool.
In this mode, you can also attack friendly convoys, but this will damage your reputation with the viceroy.
Stuff the Jolly Roger. Yeah.
And thirdly, there are convoys of other nations when there is war with them. If you got yourself a letter of marque beforehand, such attacks are legal, because you can then act on behalf of the viceroy. It's called politics. Here you can activate the convoy's patrol mode. In this mode, the convoy monitors its surroundings at sea and attacks all enemy convoys on its own. Activate the mode now. Soon the pirate Calico Jack will pass by here, and your convoy will attack him. Then you can choose if you want to join the fight, or if you want your convoy to fight on its own. This sign will alert you to an incipient naval battle. Select it in time to join the battle. If you wait too long, the battle will be fought automatically. Here you will be informed about the convoys that are going to fight against each other. On the left is always your convoy. On the right, the convoy of the opponent. The most important factor is the approximate fighting strength of the convoys, because usually the stronger convoy will win.
Obviously.
Pirates often have no interest in destroying a convoy completely. They want commodities, and they cannot plunder a destroyed convoy or bankrupt merchants a second time. So if things turn bad, it is advisable to simply capitulate. Now, choose that you want to participate in the battle. You are now in the middle of a battle, and you can get involved. The data of your convoy is displayed on the left, the data of your opponent on the right. Your vessels are shown below. The naval battle will take place in rounds. Each round, all vessels have a turn once. This also means, for example, that if you have more vessels than your opponent, you will have more turns. When it is your turn, one of your vessels is selected and highlighted in the display. If you have other vessels that have not performed any actions this round, you may select another vessel instead. On your active vessel, the hit points are displayed here. The more sections the bar contains, the more hit points a vessel has. If a vessel loses all hit points, it sinks. In addition, Your active vessel will also show how much damage a broadside is likely to cause. The cannons play an important role here, but also the sailors. If the number of sailors falls below half of the maximum possible, the damage is reduced as well. Here, the effective strength of the crew is displayed. It is mainly determined by the sailors on the vessel, but also the type of vessel plays a role. The strength of the crew is important in naval boarding. The greater the superiority of a crew, the greater the probability of success in naval boarding. Each vessel has movement points, depending on the type of vessel. For each movement point, a vessel can move one field in its direction of travel. The maneuvering points of a vessel are also dependent on the type of vessel. A turn of 30 degrees costs 1 point, so a full turn would require 12 points. However, a vessel may use a maximum of 4 points per field. Don't worry, before you make a move, the costs will be displayed.
I think I get it.
The fields that your vessel can reach are marked green. Now select one of these fields to move your vessel. You can also move your vessel several times per turn, as long as it still has enough points. As soon as you do not want to or cannot perform any more actions with the current vessel, select End Turn to end the turn for the current vessel. Then your vessel cannot be selected anymore this round. Now it is the turn of Calico Jack. He also selects a vessel of his choice and performs movements and actions with it. The cross on a vessel indicates that it can no longer perform any action during this round. Now move your next vessel. If you select a red field, your vessel will move into position and fire a broadside at the enemy. A vessel can fire both broadsides per turn. You can mix movement and actions as you like. You can plunge into the battle alone now, but I still have a few important hints for you. Take a look up here at the strength ratio of the two convoys. The bigger the green bar, the higher the chance that you will win. If you are sure that you will win the battle, you can have it evaluated automatically. At the moment, I have disabled this feature, but later you can see an evaluation here. You can accept or reject it and return to the battle. Another important point revolves around the tactics that are available to you in battles. First, there are the vessel's tactics. Each vessel provides a tactic to the convoy depending on the type of vessel. This tactic can be used as often as you like, but with cooldown periods in between. If more than one vessel has the same tactic, this cooldown period is reduced. There are also captain's tactics. You will receive them during your adventures as a reward for tasks you have fulfilled for towns. These tactics are consumed when used, but can be replenished at any time. Simply complete tasks. Which captain's tactics you can use depends on the level of your captain. Some tactics are only for experienced captains. By the way, all tactics are only used on your command, so they do not exist during automatic battles. Go ahead. I'll get right back to you. At any time when it is your turn, you can specify the type of attack for the selected vessel. Solid shots mainly cause damage to the hull. Canister shot reduces especially the crew of the enemy vessel. This can be important if you want to board a vessel. Both types of ammunition are always available. You don't have to buy them separately. If you choose this type of attack, the crew will prepare for the naval boarding of another vessel. The greater the strength of your crew compared to the crew of the enemy vessel, the higher the probability that the naval boarding will succeed. This probability is displayed when you select a suitable vessel. If a naval boarding maneuver succeeds, both vessels will be suspended until the end of the battle. If the maneuver fails, the attacking vessel will lose one turn. Now go on. I'll get back to you in a minute.
One more important tip. Cannons that you don't fire in one turn are wasted. So make sure that a vessel can always fire both broadsides during a turn. I know it's not as... Well, have fun sending Calico Jack to the fishes.
next tutorial, because I think I'm nearing the end of it. I hope. Trying to remember.
There's work waiting for you all over the Caribbean. Viceroys, towns, merchants, dodgy characters. They all have wishes, all looking for, all needing, all offering. And there are still some legendary and fabulously well-hidden treasures. You just have to keep your eyes open for such opportunities. If your Viceroy classy shoe pinches, he will let you know where by a mark on his symbol. When you visit him, he will tell you all the details. You cannot accept or reject the Viceroy's wishes, because they are just wishes. If you just do what he says, he will notice, and you will be rewarded with a lot of fame. Now close the dialogue again. If a town is short of a commodity or otherwise has had some kind of a problem for a long time, the town administration can post a task. Look north from Port Royale to Santiago, where the town offers such an order. Read it and accept it.
Santiago, there we go.
If you fulfill a town's task, word gets around quickly and your fame increases. You will also learn seafarers' secrets and get to know new captains' tactics. In addition, these orders are often economically worthwhile because they often have to do with urgently needed deliveries of commodities. There are other opportunities in the world that you should not miss. For example, sometimes you can find castaways in the water, or commodity stashes on the coast, if your convoy is close enough. Take a convoy from Santiago and drive west along the coast. There I have put a message in a bottle in the water for you to find and pick up.
Oh wait, no, that's the west.
Look, a part of a treasure map. There'll probably be more of these, and there are many ways to get to it. By the way, such pieces are always transferred to your journal. Now open the journal, and there the treasure maps tab. Further parts of the treasure map are stored here. As soon as you have found the middle piece, you can go on a treasure hunt. A successful treasure hunt will greatly increase your fame in the Caribbean. And while we are in the journal, open the tab Objectives. Your nation expects a lot from you. What exactly you can read here. But you are free and independent. If you can do without the fame of your country, then these objectives are nothing more than recommendations. So much for missions, wishes, opportunities, and fame. They will help you to build a villa by the sea. My school thanks you, as always, for your interest and hopes for a positive evaluation. Grab a bottle of rum on your way out.
Wait, didn't I just do naval battles?
Welcome to Naval Battle Training. This is only an exercise. Whoever is sinking here does not end up as fish food and can try again anytime.
Alright, so I've done some tutorials. Alright. Let's hit that campaign. Alright. I'll be English. Alright. The New World in the year 1589. Only a year ago, Queen Elizabeth I decided to provide experienced captains with a letter of marque to hunt Spanish merchant vessels and treasure fleets in the Caribbean. As the newly appointed governor of Port-au-Prince, you are supporting this venture, and you are helping to weaken Spain. Oh, I have to complete Spain's campaign. Oh, okay. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, let's try this again, shall we? The Caribbean Sea around 1570. Spain has already spread out to a large extent, but the towns are small for the most part, and due to long distances, rather poorly supplied. The danger of attacks by the other nations, especially England, lurks constantly. Your task is to stabilise Spain's colonies as quickly as possible to secure power. For this purpose, you shall distribute settlers, building materials, and all important commodities among the colonies so that they can grow quickly. In addition, you should promote the production of important commodities. This campaign offers the best introduction to Port Royale 4, as it contains the balanced mixture of the different elements of the game: trade, construction, and military conflicts. Actually, no, hang on. I'll go free play. Alright. We're going to England, mostly based on fleet strength, and the colonies to put Spain in their place, provided that enough fame is available. You should make use of these advantages. Alright. Reduce construction costs for military frigates and ship of the lines. Reduce construction costs for buildings. This is France. Reducing construction costs of buildings. Less bricks are required for the construction of buildings. Alright. For Spain, faster increase of workers and citizens, and a higher base satisfaction of citizens in your towns and pilot developments. Reduce the construction cost of all vessels with less than 20 cannons, and residential areas households. Alright, well, I'm going to be English. I'm the merchant. I am Anna Vanderheiden. Okay. I'll go that one. Alright. Does not require a trade license. Is able to talk with all nations, even at war, but all combat vessels. Oh, well, that's not too bad. Alright. There we go, that's better. Alright, yes, I want a relaxing game, thank you. Let's get on this. Oh, yeah. I'll start with that one. Alright, economy. Port Royale. Alright, sounds good like that. Okay, let's try this. That sounds like an hour doing that. Alright, let's see what I can. start a simple one here. As I follow the wind. What Royale, the Port of Prince Delegate. Why is it not? What?
I welcome you on behalf of the...
Ah, there we go.
Come here. England needs your help.